Sabecito, what, Fins up today! Fins up today! Oh, Fins up, baby! Miami, stand up! This is Fins Talk today! Let's go! Sun up over there, game day on the brain, from the tailgate smoke to the hard count rain. Orange aqua on my back, crowd shaking every seat. We talking ball, talking heat, turn it up, feel that beat. Fins talk today, Fins talk today. Fins up all day from the 305, we ride that way. Bobby Fins talk, Fins Sammy on the way. Miami, vamos, it's Fins talk today. Hey, 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 it's Fins talk today. Who you reppin'? Who you riding? Miami, who you riding? Dolphins, we break it down, break it live, every snap, every drive. Hey, Fins talk today. Fins up all day from the 305, we ride that way. Fins talk, Fins Sammy on the way. Miami, vamos, vamos, it's Fins talk today. Hey, 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 Fins talk today.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome, Fins fam, to Fins Talk today here on FTSN, powered by FTSN and Fins TV, sponsored by Caneswear. I'm Bobby Fins Talk, joined always by my Fins brother, Fins Sammy. Sammy, woo!
Hey, woo, baby, how you doing? Finally,
What's up, brother?
it's here. It's draft week. That's
7 days?
here.
Is it 7 days now? Yes.
This week starts here on Fins today. It starts
That-
right now at
That's right.
7:53. If you're afterwards, you're late. It starts here.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we were here. We always say 8 o'clock, but we were here early. We're like, you know what are we doing? Let's just go. We're good. Let's just go live.
Gotta wait. We gotta
Like,
wait.
why are we gonna wait? We had a whole show. We had a lot to talk about. D-Dub was already yesterday posted a comment. Look at that. D-Dub says, good evening. Well, it was a pretty good evening. Well, good evening to you, sir. And to those who are just dropping in, wherever you're watching from. If you're watching on Twitter, either on Fins Talk Sports Network, FTSN, Bobby Fins Talk, Fins TV. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, do us a favor, hop on over. We got a fun show. We got a lot to talk about. It is officially draft week. It's like, I think, 7 days right away now. And we got live coverage all 3 days of the draft. All-star crew for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll be on the entire time, reacting to picks, analyzing picks, the trades, what's going to go down. We don't know, but we kind of have an idea now after Eric Sullivan's press conference. That maybe that kind of cleared it. I'll tell you what, it's been a lot more clear than what we've heard from Chris Greer in years past. A little more clear vision. So we'll get obviously Sammy's point of view on that. We'll get our special guest. It's a Finsvasion here. It's a Fins TV invasion going on today.
All-star takeover, baby.
It's a takeover, man. We got some Fins TV takeover with Steve Hallett joining us shortly around 8:10 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go over what's going on together with Miami, and then we'll get into, of course, towards the end of the show, the final stretch. He will be the Armchair GM. He'll be the honorary Eric Sullivan, and he'll make his decisions with what potentially Miami's draft could look like. I know the joke going on there, Sammy. We got like 1,000 mock drafts under our belt. You did a mock draft this past week on Fins TV. Let me just ask you, since I was able to tune in a little bit here and there. I saw, and then I wanted to go back, but I haven't got a chance to go back because I wanted to see what happened to your voice. Also something happened to your voice. I'm like, what the hell happened? He has a nice little break. We're doing good. He's always fine with me. He has to take over one show, and all of a sudden his voice is gone. What happened to you, man?
Well, I have, a sore throat. The sore throats that basically you start feeling like it's just a sore throat, and then you're like, by showtime, we had a special guest, Jake Gibson of Dolphins on his side. So and he was eager to do a show, so I did not want to cancel. So I pulled through, so I found a way. But during the end of that episode, I'm like, okay, let's find a way to end this because I'm running out. I'm running out. But we had a great. Jay Gibson was great. Hopefully, we can join us here on It's Up Today. He was awesome. He's made his debut on a Dolphins show last Tuesday on Fins TV. It was a great experience. So
that's awesome. That's awesome,
after,
man.
After like 500 drafts from all the Dolphins community, probably more. We're 7 days away, so it's exciting.
1,001, drafts now, and probably not going to go the way we probably think, or maybe just exactly. We'll see. I can't wait to see what Steve thinks. I know you've always been warning me, Bobby. We can't just get Steve on. We got to give Steve a little bit of time. Let's push it out because he needs to do his work. So I cannot wait to hear his thoughts on the upcoming draft, and then see how kind of the simulator kind of falls into place and where he'll go with those picks. We got DJ in the comments. Welcome, DJ. We're at Christian Leap. Good evening, sir. DSG says he's been watching Ultimate Warrior matches on WWE Vault. There you go. The Warrior.
That's my guy.
There you go. There you go. And you got Steve Hallett in there. Look, you got already, man. We got an all-star crew popping in the comments. So very exciting. But let me ask you though, because the mock draft itself, how did it turn? Who was the number one pick? Was it any different than the ones we've been doing? Any surprises for you?
Basically, the first round, of course, is the pick that everybody there are a lot of mock drafts that at least has one of the players we want at 11. So, but I'm starting to get nervous if how many choices we're gonna have by 11. So, the board is trying to go like the latest mock drafts are not going our way. Eddie was between Fano and Ainoue, right? The guard. So at the
Penn State guard, yep.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we kind of debated, and I find a way to convince him he wanted to take a guard. I said, let's take Fano because that way I learned so much from you, right? That way we can plug in a second time. I even read on the radio today about Fano, even I think it was Joe Rose. No, who was Joe Rose? No, it wasn't Joe Rose. I think Kimbo Comper, someone else has said that basically the Dolphins might even try a setter. I don't think that would be a great idea, but that's the versatility the guy has. So at least, hopefully, he's there. He's the last resort. Ruben Bain, we talked about a month back that he was sliding in the mock drafts. I've seen a lot of mock drafts that are right now having basically sliding to the Dolphins, and we're gonna talk about what Sullivan said today. And he's gonna have the cojones to take him if he falls to the Dolphins at 11. So it's gonna get interesting for sure.
One thing I do like, and we're gonna get to the topics here. Steve will be joining us shortly. But one thing I do like that Sullivan has said in regards of offensive line. Mm-hmm. My thing on offensive line always is guys who are versatile, guys you can move around like chess pieces because
yes,
offensive line people get hurt. And I know like our friend Scotty, who's always in the comments, he's not a big fan of versatile linemen. He's always kind of gone at me about that in years past. But one thing that Sullivan has said or had said, and I believe it was in this press conference, but was that he likes versatility. He's not big on one position offensive lineman. He just plays tackle. Oh, he just plays guard. You need to be versatile because if that one guy gets hurt and that guard is better than the tackle that's the tackle that's replacing the starting tackle, you want that guard to go plug and play at tackle because he's the better player. So to me, versatility means everything, and that's where Spencer Fanu comes into play. Because Fanu, even though we loved him since last year, and I'm excited that it's starting to seem like steam is building that he could possibly be the pick if he's there. That's why hearing that Miami's either leaning Fanu or Mauranoa out of Miami, and it makes a lot of sense. First off, they're great players, but also these are guys that not only could play or compete for right tackle, but these are guys also that you can move into guard. They could compete with Savannah, or they could go in at left guard or right guard, whichever position is open at that spot, if Austin Jackson plays well enough to start at the top of the year. So those are, two great names and two guys that are versatile, and maybe that might be the case for Miami in this draft when you're looking at offensive linemen. And maybe that is the question Dolphin fans should ask themselves as we get closer now. If you're looking at a lineman in the trenches, can this guy play multiple spots? Can you move him around? Ione, one of the better offensive linemen in regards of interior offensive linemen in the draft in a few years. He's very good. He's great, right? But can he play tackle if you need him at tackle? Can he move to center? Those are questions you have to ask her. Yeah, he's a damn good guard. I mean, again, you got to consider him, especially if you move back. But if he's sitting there at 11, you have to have a conversation. But if Spanu's there and Fanu could play guard and tackle or Mauanoa, it makes the choice a little bit easier because then you're like, I need a guy who can play multiple positions minus the one. So I like that. Dolphins Thirsty in the house. Dolphins Thirsty. Rob will be with us during the draft coverage, especially in day 3. He'll be with Steve Malloy, Real Talk, Fins Talk Reunited. We'll have Q and Will Patrone of 305 Sports. Those gentlemen will be there. Stager will be on that one as well. We got an all-star crew on the day 3, day 2, day 1. So make sure if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and join us for some draft coverage. Yes, we did. We're here. Why not? What are we going to do? Sit around, look at the time, and not start? We're talking. Let's just go live. F it.
We're going live. We're going live.
Yeah, F it. Going live, damn it. Don't run out. Talk it. F it. We'll go live. One of the most classic outbursts ever in TV history. But, let me see if I can pull this up here as we await our guest shortly. But let's see here. And then yesterday, I want to bring that up too. We had Alex come back, which is very excited. Yeah. Josh, starting early, brother. You're starting early. I know what you're doing there. I know what you're doing, Josh. I think everybody figured out what you're doing. That's not cool.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Actually, I'm looking for it, but not Josh.
D-Dub, my brother. Good to see you, my man. Anthony is the main event. But Josh in the house. Josh has me doing homework. I was writing out a bunch of show descriptions today and getting ready, for the stuff he got. It's Robert in the house. But anyway, Alex, great to have Alex back in the channel. As he said, he's been offline for a little bit. His father had passed away, so he needed obviously to take care of that, be with his dad, which is he has, and he was there with his father, and had some weeks off, and so it was just great to have Alex back. And he did his mock draft, and Alex loves trading, and it was actually very fun. Oh, man, 3099, appreciate you dropping in. First-time viewer, man. What's up, brother? Fins up. Appreciate you dropping in. Adrian got me working this week. Not that I don't do enough, but I'm on tomorrow on Rainy Day Pod. I'm on, right? Was it Rainy Day? I think it's Rainy Day Pod. I don't think it's Stanley's show. But either way, I'm going to be on South Florida Sports, and then I'm going to be on Too Raw for SmackDown WrestleMania preview, man. He's like, hey, Bobby, I know you do all this stuff and you got a couple other shows that you got to do plus your other show and everybody else, but why don't you do my show too and pick up your freaking phone? I'm like, dude, you call me on Twitter. Call my phone. What are you doing? You better answer my call. He's telling me, I'm like, dude, I'm dealing with a migraine. He's like, I'm like, damn. All right, I'm coming. Damn, dude. He's like, give me your number too. I'm like, damn.
Am I on a mission? He said,
he is. He's no kidding. He's like, answer my phone. I'm like, I did. I'm trying. DJ asking, would you guys be all right if we traded back or if they traded back with the Jets? So the easy answer would be no, because it's the Jets, right? Screw the Jets, the Bills, and the Patriots and whatever, But since Miami and John Eric Sullivan has already traded with the Jets and got traded Minka to the Jets, and I think John Eric Sullivan's excuse to do that would be what's best for Miami. What are we getting in return? And I think he would do it. I do feel like he would do it. But so it's very interesting to find out. I think all options are on the table. He did talk about trading up and trading down. He says more likely we're going to trade down than trade up. That does not mean there's no player they wouldn't trade up for. What I got from that, more than anything, Sammy, I wouldn't sleep on any option back and forth. But I think more than likely we could see a move at the top of round 2. More than likely. Like we have, I think 3 may trade up to 3. I mean, from 30, from 30, but more than likely, like for instance, let's say Miami goes O-line at 11 and then goes defense at 30, whatever defensive player that may be. And then at the top of a second round, let's say for whatever reason, let's say if it's Mekhi Lemon or Chris Brazel or Denzel Boston, if it's one of those receivers sitting there, especially Denzel Boston or Mekhi Lemon, I could see Miami getting on the phone, calling, and trading up to 33 and snatching a receiver there, one of the top receivers who ever fell. So I could see that happening. D-Dub says, actually, I would try to trade down to Baltimore. One thing he did say that was interesting, and we're going to go, once we get Steven here, we'll go through the transcript. But one thing that he talked about was that, you know, he there's a lot of phone calls going on, but a lot of it is people saying, hey, you know, would you want to trade up? Would you? And, you know, he said, I'm not about that. We'll talk on draft night. Come to me with a serious discussion, whether it's trading up or trading down. I don't think they're calling anybody. I think they're gonna be waiting to kind of see. Maybe they throw some things out there because you got to. But I think, you know, we could see that come into play. It's really dependent on how the board falls. There you go. Rob just saying it right there as I'm saying. It depends on how many of his board that he likes, right? Especially if Sadiq and Delane are still on the board. Talking about a possible trade down scenario. If one of those two guys are still on the board, could we see a trade down from Miami? Which, again, he says he loves having the picks. He loves having 11 picks. Doesn't mean he's hold ransom to it. He could package them and move up, or he could add more to his war chest. But again, I don't see them. I can see them not having 11 picks by the end of the draft and saying, hey, they moved up in round 2 and grabbed the guy. I think that's more than likely. Miami's done a lot of homework. And if you look at their top 30 visits, Sammy, when you look at their top 30 visits, there's a lot of interesting names. A lot of receivers.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
You know what I mean? A lot of receivers, you know, a lot of offensive linemen and, you know, corners here, safety here, quarterbacks. We don't need a quarterback. They keep meeting with quarterbacks. Jalen Daniels, they met with him. You know, I mean, so Miami it's like, yeah, it could be all smokescreen, and that's the right thing to do. But, I mean, my goodness, and we know what the history of the Packers are, so it's not hard to think, like, hey, they probably will grab a quarterback later in the draft, you know, whether that's Beck or Allar or Daniels or Green, could go. Yeah, but Eddie's asking, Sammy, can you talk? He just jumped in. He's asking, are you okay?
If you would have been here by 8, you would have known that I already spoken. But since you were at 306, Eddie, come on. You have to be at 8 here.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you, Eddie?
I even talked good about you. You did a great job doing that.
Yeah, he said the whole thing. He was like, Eddie is amazing. Wish he was the GM. All this great
job. Come on.
And you weren't here for Eddie. And now you got to live with that regret.
Now you have to watch the whole show from the beginning. Don't
Go back later after the show. Give us another view. On YouTube. You're on X. Go on YouTube, man. How dare you? I'm just playing. Grateful for anybody wherever you're watching. I'm watching anime. Okay.
On a serious note, we were saying about the 30 minutes is the way I see it. I'm of course I'm just guessing, but it kind of tell. It tells me the Dolphins are expecting a run at wide receiver at some point.
Yes,
and they want to be ready. And I think that it's expecting the run at 30. I don't think they're waiting for 45. I think that they want to position themselves to take the best receiver of the second round of the group at 30, at 34, if they trade with the Cardinals, so somewhere around that area. I don't think they will trade back to the late 30s. If they trade, it will be like for a team that wants to secure a player with the fifth-year option all the way to 36, 37 maybe, but not too late. So I would expect them to do the due diligence to pick the wide receiver they think is best by the time this there. Concepcion, I've seen a lot of things about Concepcion. That was the first guy I put my eyes to because he has some Jalen Water qualities, you know, so speed wide receiver, you know, fast, good returner, also, you know, good hands, good route running. I would love to have Concepcion at 30, but I don't think that will be the case. So we will be more the Boston after all the ones after Boston. So Bernard, someone like that. But I think they're doing the due diligence to be in position to take the best one they can have, not the one to false to them. So I was expecting to take a wide receiver at 30, or if they trade a couple of spots back at 35. But I would see the second pick of the Dolphins is going to be wide receiver. That will be my guess.
Yeah, there you go. I'm with you. I think more than likely Miami would pick a receiver either at 30 or at the top of the second round in a possible trade-up situation. If Denzel Boston is available at 30, do you take him? I think it's a strong consideration. I really do. I know there's a few guys who do this for a living who I've spoken to. I watch film. I do the draft show. I love doing this. You know, it's a hobby of mine. But I know guys who are like 24/7 doing this. And there's a few of them that have Denzel Boston is almost at the top of the board. So you got Will in the comments there, and now the invasion has begun. I'm starting to see, I'm hearing the war chants. I'm hearing I see the tanks. They're coming in. Fins TV tanks are in here. I feel cornered, Sammy. The gentleman, the MVP, the VIP is here.
On one side, the host of the Takeover Face TV. On the other side, the Thursday Night Wars. It's a whole mess over here. What can I tell you?
There you go. There you go. Let us. We may drop out, but we'll come back, and then we're gonna get our VIP in here, our MVP, and then let me see. All right, we're good. All right, so here we are.
Action with a flag. That's nice.
Do you like that? I liked it. I was like, damn, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna roll with this. I pulled the Sammy. I said, I'm gonna do it. No shame in my game. All right, man. I cannot wait to bring this gentleman in. I know, Sammy, you love him. You guys are awesome together. But every time I listen to your show, this dude brings the heat, and he's one of the coolest dudes. And no filter, unfiltered, everything with Fins Talk and everything else. So I'm excited to finally get to do a show with him and bring him in here. And there he is.
Ooh,
he's on the big screen.
Out of retirement. Well,
how's it going?
What is up, dude?
Well, out of retirement, just a little bit. I don't know. It's
a sabbatical?
Yes. A very well-needed sabbatical. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Man, doing good. I'm excited that you're here, man.
I'm excited to be here with you all. It's Bobby, our first time face-to-face in one of these things. I'm really looking forward to talking with you on here. And Sammy, we're back, man. We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Almost
we're going to take over.
Man, right?
It's a whole takeover of Fins Talk today. 2 against 1. You're the first guest that basically on Fins Talk today, the new format, they basically is sharing the screen with us. So,
Here we go, man.
I come up from the third rope. Come on, let's do it.
I like it.
So let's Josh Wingate. Is this the flagship show? You damn right it is on FTS.
Flagship.
Not taking anything away from our draft content. Josh kills it on the Fins Talk draft show. We're very excited. We got great draft content coming next week. I mean, we have great draft content all the time, but the draft coverage show coming. Quiet down there, Rob. Don't start trouble. But Steve Hallett, co-host of Fins TV here on FTSN. And yes, again, we usually bring our guests later and to do the mock draft, but Steve is awesome and he's great with this stuff. And I wanted to get his thoughts on a lot of the current topics going on with Miami. So we'll get that in. And then he's going to be in charge. He's going to do his best impersonation of John Eric Sullivan and make the decisions for Miami's draft. And so you guys are going to be able to, love him or go, thank God Steve's not the GM by the end of the night. We'll see.
I think that it'd be the latter. We'll definitely be at the latter, but I'm comfortable with that. I'm okay. I'm fine with where I'm sitting.
Risk taker.
So let us start off. First off, we were just discussing it. But, everybody has an idea of where Miami could go at 11, right? Whether that's corner, Mansour Delane, or safety, Caleb Downs, or edge rusher, Ruben Bain. But who knows if those guys are going to be there? But a lot of times we all discuss it. We've been banging the table for years as Dolphin fans, guys who cover the Dolphins, doing the YouTube and podcasting. It's offensive line. Well, a guy that I absolutely love. Next, of course, to Francis Mauigoa out of Miami is Spencer Fanu out of Utah. You always got to take everything you hear or see, Steve, with a grain of salt, right?
100%.
Especially during the draft time.
100%.
But, I mean, if you have any kind of following the draft in any sort of way, who Spencer Fanu is, Vega Ione out of Penn State, Francis Mauigoa. Well, the heat is getting turned up, and more we're seeing from around the league from Spencer Fanu, Francis Mauigoa at 11 for Miami leaning Fanu. Sammy, you follow up right after Steve, but Steve, you're seeing this, you're hearing this as a Dolphin, as a lifelong Dolphin fan. What are your thoughts if Fanu's the pick at 11?
My thought is we really need to just spend 2026 setting our expectations that it is setting the stage for 2027. I think if you look at some of the more memorable team rebuilds that have happened in history, you have to put the Dallas Cowboys in there when they went out there and totally overhauled their entire team with the trenches, with an offensive line that dominated for years to come. Look, it's not going to be sexy. Everybody will be upset if we don't go out there and get a bunch of weapons for Willis, and we're stinking it up and down the field on offense. But the reality is we need to be thinking long-term here. And if Fanu is that person that's going to, be able to be plug and play day one, being available to come in and play that position, or be available if and when, not if, when somebody goes down and has to go in there at a different position, 100%. All I can say is I just hope, the last big versatile offensive lineman that we made a move for, we just finally let go Eichenberg, which, he was Mr. Versatile that we used all over the offensive line. I'm not comparing the two of them. I think that they're in totally different leagues with one another, but I'm a fan of building the trenches, and that's got to start on the offensive line. That's where I stand with this.
There you go. Sammy?
Absolutely. We talked so many years about, the Dolphins building offensive line, and when the Dolphins pick offensive linemen, the fans complain. So, but right now, I think the whole franchise, the whole Fins Nation realized that if we don't build offensive line, we have nothing. If we don't have find a way, if there was something that Malik Willis has in Green Bay, was good protection. He had time to throw the ball. We had to give him the best opportunity, to be protected, to have time, because if not, he's going to become a running quarterback. That's not what we want. We want for him to be the player he was that second half of the year with Green Bay, where he had time to throw, make decisions, and he did quick decisions, but very good decisions. So the offensive line is key. A couple of years ago, we wanted a receiver. We wanted with Jalen Waddle when we could have had the defensive lineman that went to the Lions. So Finesse will. So offensive line is key. Offensive line is key to control the game, to control the tempo, to run the ball, to protect the quarterback. So when you're building a franchise, basically, Steve did a great point. He said that the Cowboys was basically the last, one of the ones not talking enough about taking the thing to the studs. Do you know who was part of that franchise? Troy Aikman was part of that process. He knows when it's go to the bottom of the river and to have to find a way to survive. But you go to rock bottom, but if you do it well, you go to the top. So he knows what it takes to build a franchise from the ground up. He was there. He suffered. He took a beating to it. He didn't let the long-lasting career because he took so many hits to the head by not having the great offensive line he had in the later years, who basically protected him, but by then was too late. So I think it's interesting that Troy Aikman is going to be in the war room. He's not going to be making decisions, but he's been part of this process, and I think he's been a huge part of why the Dolphins are taking this route. So offensive line is going to be key, because if we don't protect Malik Willis or whoever is the quarterback in 2027, we don't stand a chance.
100%. I think great points all around. I will disagree with Eddie in the comments there. First off, and there's two things. Fanu.
That's nothing new. I love Eddie, but that's
why
he's the controversial Chapman.
He said Fanu is Savannah. First of all, I don't have nothing against Savannah. He was a rookie last year. He was in the wrong spot. Should have stayed on the right side. We'll see how he plays in his second year. I think he needs to be moved to the right side. But Fanu is a better player, and I think from day one will be a day one contributor for the Miami Dolphins, possibly competing for the starting spot at right tackle and giving Jackson some headaches, or being a starting guard for Miami day one. So I love the idea. I love the concept. I'm down with it. I love that Steve brought up the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I know hindsight, all this whatnot, but I was not against drafting Jake Long when they took Jake Long that time. I loved the idea of going Jake Long when they took him over Matt Ryan at that time. Of course, everybody can say, "Oh, they should have took Matt Ryan," but Jake Long was the right decision. And if he would have stayed healthy, I think we would have been loving it even to this day. So I'll die on that hill, but that's why, again, I'm not against going offensive line here at 11 and going either defense or, as Sammy's brought up, wide receiver at 30, possibly for Miami. But one guy who is going to make those decisions is John Eric Sullivan. And yesterday he had his pre-draft presser, and I talked to multiple people. I had a lot of people texting me, whether it was Finstanza, Rob message sending me thing, a lot of comments here and there, different other people, and I kept hearing, refreshing, breath of fresh air, all this, everybody seemed to really to enjoy. I don't know either what the answers they're hearing, but maybe the clarity and the clear vision that was coming from John Eric Sullivan. And I will say again, from day one, that's what's been like. I've been saying, man, I just love the messaging. we've talked about this on Fins TV, Sammy and Steve, going into next season with little to no expectations. You cannot go next year going, oh, we're going to the playoffs. And nobody should be saying that. It's not wrong. We're going to cheer for our team to win, and we'll be happy. But there should be no expectations about. Nobody should be in playoffs by the end of the year. What it is what are the players he draft? How are they going to do? How is Coach Hafley going to be coaching these guys up when they make mistakes? How they're going to respond the game after? That's what we're looking at. He talks great, and he talks like he knows what he's talking about. He has a clear vision in mind. He always has an answer for everybody that asks a question. There's no shadow boxing or going around, trying to, be silly, whatever. It's all clear answers. It sounds great. Does it mean wins? Does it mean that we're finally going to have a great organization that we can be proud of again? I don't know, but I do like what I'm hearing. We're going to go a little bit through what was talked about and some of the things he's discussed. But Steve, I don't know if you got a chance to hear his press conference yesterday, but if you did, great. Just put your thoughts on it. If not, though, your just initial thoughts. I know we haven't had a full body of work yet. Obviously, all we've heard is talk right now from him. But what you've heard so far, what are your thoughts on John Eric Sullivan?
Well, let's be real. When Grier talked, everybody ate it up. People grumbled to hell. We're Dolphins fans. People are going to either eat it up or they're going to piss on it, no matter what. So we're Dolphins fans. We're fanatics, Dolphins fans. That stuff happens. It comes with the territory. But from what I've seen from John Eric Sullivan, I like it. I'll give him extra points because it's part of a clean slate, full flush the toilet, get rid of everybody else. We're clearing out the swamp. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt right now. But then again, everybody sounds good right now. Everybody sounds fantastic when they have a plan. But what's going to happen when the rubber hits the road and they're actually in the middle of the draft? And that's where Grier, for year after year after year, really just shit the bed. I mean, he never was able to get done what everybody else thought that he should have been able to get done. And the results on the field perfectly reflected that. I really like the mindset of needing all of the picks that we have. We need more picks. He has that mentality that it is going to take more than just what we have right now, not just in salary cap, but in draft capital to fix this. Sammy, we talked about it as 2025 season ended up. We have a lot of holes that not one off season is going to fix here. And we don't have the picks. We definitely don't have the money. It's going to take a while. And that's why it was extra refreshing to just see Grier go, McDaniel go, Tua go. Get rid of everybody. Get rid of some of those long in the tooth people who've been sitting in the Dolphins organization collecting a paycheck year after year after year for what? They flushed all that out. So I'm excited about that. To me, it's going to matter the most, as we all know, when we see what he's doing. And I don't think it's going to be fair. I'll channel my inner Matt Armstrong here from Fins TV that there's a reason why we're sitting at home watching the draft and not sitting in the war room actually making the picks. We don't know as much as we think that we know. It's easy to sit back, armchair quarterback, and criticize what they're talking about, what they're doing, and where they pick in the draft rooms. But just have to have trust that they're going to make those right picks. And I'll go back to the Eichenberg again. And anybody that has heard me say this before, you traded up for Eichenberg only to watch Creed Humphrey go 25 picks later to the Chiefs when that was the best pick, and you traded up for Eichenberg. It was just one of those stupid things we saw so many times where Grier I don't know what he was doing when he moved up for picks to get players that would have been there if he just sat there all along no matter what. So I really like that. And what I'm really hoping to see here, and hopefully I'm not getting too far ahead. Actually, I am. I'll stop there. John Eric Sullivan, I'm looking at the rundown. I don't want to keep talking. So go ahead, man.
That happens to me every single week. The bottom line is that when I look at Sullivan and I compare it to Grier, you can see Grier was a guy that basically felt too comfortable in his job. If you think about it, that was he was. You're more worried than we are. And when you look at Sullivan, you see someone. I'm not saying that he feels pressure, but you can see he cares. He knows how huge the moment is, how huge the opportunity is. You can see that he knows the responsibility he has. And of course, they all said it. I do believe Mike McDaniel wanted him to win at least a playoff game for this franchise. I don't doubt it. That's the truth. But you can see Sullivan that he seizes the moment. I think he truly believes that the moment is here and it's a big moment. And so it's refreshing to see someone that basically believes that he has a plan, and he's giving no guarantees. He truly believes that he's gonna get there, but he's not giving any guarantees, because the problem is that Chris Greer has some hits. It's undeniable. You can see Brooks, that's a huge hit for the Dolphins. You can see Brewer, that's a huge hit for the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill became the number 1 player in the NFL. The problem was that when you don't know how to build a proper team, and your team has so many weak holes, it's not a proper team. If you don't pick the right quarterback, which I was wrong about 2-2, so you make that mistake, it's gonna burn you all over. So you have to be someone who knows the challenge. You have to do the right picks. It's different than Green Bay, because if you ask me, Green Bay basically has underachieved. When you think about it, they had Brett Favre, they had Aaron Rodgers, they had Jordan Love, and only 2 Super Bowls to show. And they get to the playoffs and they flop. So the challenge for Sullivan is that you can put even a good team on the field. You can be a perennial contender for the players every single year. It's that next step. And Stephen Ross has already told him that it's on you, because they're going to give you anything you need. It's not like Green Bay where you're owned by the community and you have a salary cap and a budget. And if the player is not up to the budget, let him go. In Miami, Stephen Ross had the wallet open. If he wants to stay, if Sullivan wanting the players to stay, he's going to stay. It's not going to be the same. Green Bay, the last 2 players that you can think of they traded for was Ray White and Minka Parsons. Other than that, the Dolphins keep trying to get the big fish every single year, from Ndamukong Suh to Tyreek Hill. So it's a completely different situation, Steve. So right now in Miami, it's a complete different ball game, because right here, Sullivan knows that if he doesn't hit, it's on him. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that first of all, I just want to say it only took us 15 minutes of me being on this show for it. Just, we took over. And it's just like taking a chair, took a chair to him, and hey, it's like the good old days.
That was too easy, Bobby. That was too easy.
I mean, really, really, Sammy, it boils down to, and I appreciate somebody who comes in here with a level of humility and understanding, first of all, how big of an opportunity this is, but also knowing that there are no guarantees. Somebody that comes in here with a mentality that they know everything. I mean, the guy's got a ton of experience, and he's got years under his belt in an organization. Yeah, did they underperform for years? Sure. But you know what? I would sure as hell take all the success and years of underperforming that Green Bay has had over the past 25 years of what Miami's done out there on the field. So I'll take somebody coming in with that level, that pedigree of, hey, I've been having all these, this is where I grew up. This is where I started, and I've gleaned all that experience, and hope that he's going to bring that approach with his on-camera personality, mentality at least. And I really just hope that we're going to see it come through to fruition. Bobby, welcome back, man. We were just saying, man, hey, took us 15 minutes of me being on your show to just, Finn's TV takeover, for real.
You got it. I well, you know what? It was funny because I muted my mic, but then I hear my father-in-law screaming for my dog. And I know there's a storm coming, but I'm like, I had time. So, but I hear him, Mandy. So, I'm texting my wife, and I'm like, what's going on out there? And she's like, I'm at Publix. And she goes, a lot of wind. So I hear them screaming out there, and the kids and everything. So I'm like, I was about to tell, I was wait for you to stop. And I was like, guys, I'll be right back. Take over for a minute. I know you guys both can handle it. Give me a minute. Before I can, I was like, the power went, oh, shit. I'm like, oh.
All it was, your picture just looked like here. I was like, Bobby's got narcolepsy. He just fell asleep. Your eyes were closed on camera.
It was boring. It's very Bobby fell asleep.
Sleep here.
I'm so sorry. So if I do drop out again, that's what's going on. The basketball hoop fell, so I had to grab that, get everything going. So, but I'm here for now. But for now until I fall out again. But no. So anyway, so what you were saying there too about Greer and Sullivan, and but you're absolutely right. Or at least when I was hearing at the end, all sounds great. We got to see how it plays out, right? And again, trading up for John for Eichenberg, or getting Cam Smith when there was better players on the board, or Igubenagany. I mean, there's a lot of, and even at that moment, right? You're like, after they draft him, you kind of go, what, who, where, But then you're like, you know what? Let's give this young guy a chance. It's not his fault.
Moving up for Leonte Carew.
You
saw
know,
some names in the last week here
At
that
3 and
just made me
4.
like, oh, I forgot about some of this stuff, how bad and criminal it was.
But that's why this franchise is what it is. Because if you hit, you have a good team. But if you invest more picks than you have to trade ups to trade
Greer
players
was,
away,
you know,
and you don't hit on the picks, you're screwed. This is why
Sammy, we made jokes for a while of like, you know, Greer with his free agency moves was going in all in with like pocket sixes, thinking I'm going to win it and just going all in. The way he drafted, he went all in with like a 2-5 offsuit, like just trash. And he's that guy sitting at the table that firsthand goes all in just to bully everybody, and he just ends up losing. You're not going to win, man. And his performance, the way that all too much of that stuff happened with the draft picks, that the way he handled it, he's where he should be, sitting in the unemployment line. I mean,
he kept doubling down and going down because that's what happened. That's the problem right here.
Yes. Again, press conference wise, I mean, again, Rob, Dolphins Thirsty loved it. Finstanza loved it. A lot of people were very happy with that press conference. Refreshing. Same thing with Halfley. I mean, when you listen to Halfley talk, I got half through. I got to get back and finish it. But South Beach sessions with Dan Lepetard, just hearing him talk, it's like, you kind of feel, like it's like, feel him like, at the same level. He doesn't try to sound bigger about, whatever, smarter than you. It's just, you listen to a story, you like it too. But John Eric Sullivan talking about draft picks and what makes a good draft pick. One of the questions they asked him, what does a successful draft look like to you in a successful draft pick? And he said, obviously, this is his quote here, or his answer. Obviously, a player that comes in and impacts your team in a positive manner, both on the field and in the locker room. I think the expectations of that is all dependent upon where you take them. You never know. I mean, this isn't an exact science. Obviously, the higher you pick a player, those premium picks, you expect them to come in and perform and play at a level that impacts your team. How fast that happens, who's to say? In my time in this business, I think to impact and to improve, you have to play. We're in a situation here where these draft picks are going to come in and they're going to have to play early. The truth of the matter is, we like our players. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. His current players on the roster. But we don't have a ton of established players on this team. That's not to say we don't like our players. I think we've got a lot of guys here that are going to help us, that are going to surprise some people, if you will, that will play above what maybe the expectations are. But the truth of the matter is, we have very few established players on this roster. So this draft class, 2026, will have an opportunity to come in here and play soon and play quick.
Okay.
Steve, your reaction to that part of his answer to that question.
What do we have? 42 players on roster right now at league minimum. We are the NFL embodiment of the replacements. My wife, my sister-in-law, absolutely huge fans of the replacements. I know Matt Armstrong is as well. We are that version of a team, but we've backed ourselves into a corner where I think like teams like the Saints, they did the same exact stuff with Drew Brees and they just never got the memo and they kept on doubling down even after he was gone. They're still in that same spot. We're taking a different approach. I'm all for it. And I really, truly hope that, Sullivan takes the approach of look at the whole player type, who you're picking, who you're drafting. You need players. I said this years and years ago. It's probably about 10, 12 years ago, and it just aggravated the hell out of me that there's no way to really, truly peel back the onions on players that they're drafting. Doesn't matter if you meet them face-to-face because they've got coaches that lead up to the combines and these one-on-one and these top 30 visits and everything, and they're training themselves, whether it's for public speaking, for one-on-one speaking, or for the high jump, long jump, broad jump, whatever you want to do. They're training for those moments. You can't peel back the onion and really, truly find out who are the people who are absolutely passionate. Who are the Jarvis Landrys when you peel back that onion and all they want to do is tear your helmet off as they're running towards the end zone. You want to find those people who eat, breathe, sleep, drink, absolutely everything in their lives is football. Very hard to find those players, in my opinion. But if you can find those people who are that good, have the talent, they're at this level, clearly they're that good, have the talent, but also bring that off the field, you need to find that. And you really need to find that in a very young and inexperienced locker room.
I love that answer. I love that. And D-Dub's right there with you. Fins need top dogs that are willing to be accountable, talented, and mentally tough. The guy that came to my mind as you were saying that, and who might be slipping. You hear some of the stories, and I know Rob texted me about that. I know Wingate kind of brought it up way before that kid come up. Was the issue with Ruben Bain with the car? Back in 24, he had an accident, and regretfully, unfortunately, someone passed away a little after that. But seems like everything worked out with the family. Whatever, it's still tragedy. So, but this might push him down the board. But again, before that even happened, a lot of people talking about how short his arms are. I think that's a lot of teams trying to push so that he could fall down. If he's there at 11, you talk about a guy who's a dog and a guy who will bring the heat every Sunday on your line. Ruben Bain's that guy. One thing I remember with during the Hurricanes playoff run, when they would talk about, oh, we're going to take out the Hurricanes, Ruben Bain's nobody. I mean, the notebook, he'd be writing down what people are saying, and then he'd make them pay for it. I mean, that's the type of football player I would love to have on this team. Not saying it's going to be Ruben Bain. I would love to have Ruben Bain, but, biasly, and I think he's a great player either way. But to your point, that's the type of guys we need. We need dogs. We need guys who are going to take it personally every Sunday, Thursday, Monday, whenever we're playing. So, and again, great answer by him. Again, we'll see how it plays out. But he's obviously aware of the roster. He's being honest. He's saying, hey, we have some good players, but we don't have a great team. We don't have a few established players, and a lot of these young guys are coming. They're going to play, so we're going to have to draft guys who contribute either as starters or contribute rotationally on day one. Robert,
Go
ahead, Sammy. I'm sorry.
On that note, no worries. I'm sorry. On that note, the thing we were talking about Ruben Bain, there was something that Sullivan said that made me think that I'm not saying that he was talking about Bain when he said it, but when he said that too often teams go for the home run instead for the double, you be secure the beat you having. The guy that came to my mind was Ruben Bain, because we talked for weeks now that he might be sleeping, and then because of the arm thing that was discarded, that there's so many players were measured by small arms in the combine, so he surpassed that. And then the thing about the car crash, and he's tentatively sleeping or not again. So when he said that about you have to find a way to keep hitting doubles and not go to the home run so many times because he's gonna stroke out. That worries me, because he's gonna face that question if Ruben Bain is there. He's gonna put the car down not to pick him because the supposedly short arms and the car crash and whatever, or he's gonna take the shot. He's gonna take the shot for the home run. He's gonna take the what and sap moment for the Dolphins. So it's interesting. We'll have to wait and see. But that's something that worried me, because when he said that first thing that came to my mind was Ruben Bain.
Hey, and that's the thing you have to do with these press conferences too. I mean, he's not gonna show his cards, but there might be little hints here and there about the type of players they're looking for and maybe what they may stay away from. Is that enough to take him off the board? Another thing he did bring up, and we'll get into the trade up conversation in a second, or trade down, is Devon Achane. And I was very happy to hear this. But again, if somebody, he said that already, I'll answer the phone. But they asked, how is Devon Achane? How's the contracts going? Is he not available for a trade at this time? He very flat, very to the point. He is not available for a trade. Things are going good. We've had some positive conversations, trending in the right direction. He's very important to what we are doing. It's all part of it. It's part of professional sports. We'll get where we need to be one way or the other, but things are trending in the right direction. Sammy, I'll start with you. Steve, you follow right up. But Sammy, again, you know me. I'm totally off the whole trade agent. I've been fighting that thing all last season. Yes. So I love this answer, and I love that he was there today, as talks are starting to progress, that he could be here because, again, he's young enough that he's better than he's better than a lot of the backs in the draft. You got a guy, you keep him. I love it. Your thoughts on what Sullivan said about Achane?
They're both playing poker. They're both competing for the spot which one is going to be the other hand. So it's not going to be easy, because the Dolphins right now, our cap strap, money strap, and they have to, if they're going to do something, of course, they can stand him afterwards, and they can probably move some money after June 1st also. But they can, that first year of the contract can be low, and the rest of the contract can be higher. So they can find a way to do it. But I think the Dolphins right now are trying to squeeze as much as they can, because they know they have the contract. The players taking all the risk. He's not going to hold up for the whole season, so he's going to have to find a way to shut up. And the Dolphins after this year had the franchise tag ready. So, but I think it's going to get done. I think so many people believe that, he's going to get traded. Sometimes I get scared because I want Devon Achane here. I think right now he's a playmaker. He's a fourth running back. It's a divided position. We all know that, but he's not only a running back. He's a weapon, and there are not many teams that have a weapon like Devon Achane. He's a player that can score a touchdown in one play. How many teams can say that? That's what that we had that with Tyreek Hill so many times. We don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. We need someone like that. You as a general manager, I'm pretty sure all 31 other teams try to find a player like Devon Achane with the capability of striking a note and getting that song all together at once. So it would be awesome if they can do it. I'm hopeful that they can. The fact that he showed up today is in good faith, because if he wanted to send the message, I want out of here, he doesn't show up. So for those who were saying no, he might be disgruntled or whatever, he's not, because he showed up today. So that olive branch steps a lot. So I'm hopeful it's gonna get done. I don't think it's gonna get done by the draft. And after the draft, the truth is he loses a lot of power, because after the draft, a lot of those teams that are running for the variation today are gonna have a running back after the draft. So the Dolphins are smart about it. They're draining the scene off. If they get to after after the draft, they already won the hand. So we have to wait and see, but I think it's gonna get done.
Steve.
Look, it sucks to see Waddle go where when he left, but the reality is he's wasted talent on this team. I've said it before that how many really, really good players, can't say we've had that many, but we've had some really good players on this team in the past 2.5 decades that we've just watched their careers go down the toilet because we were the Miami Dolphins and we couldn't get out of our own way. I hope Waddle has a lot of success in Denver, and we've got draft compensation in exchange for it. Achane, look, anybody who's heard me talk before knows that I was ecstatic with Achane. Anybody that plays against my Florida Gators and I see how they play against them and do what Achane did to us, I'm like, when we grabbed him in the draft, I was like, oh my God, hell yes. And he's turned into actually a lot more than I thought that he could have materialized in Miami. How much longer we got him under contract, Bobby? Is this his last year coming up?
Yeah, I think this is his contract year. So that's why they're trying to get a deal done.
That's tough, man. Look, I've flip-flopped on the you don't give running backs second contracts because, first of all, they're a dime a dozen. Second of all, because they end up paying a lot more, and you just don't get that ROI from it. I'm probably being hypocritical here that I'm like, give the guy a paycheck. Do I think that you can afford to pay him top league money? No, you can't pay him the James Cook money. But then again, you look at his yards per carry over the past 3 years. He's better. He's the best running back in the league. Well, the past 3 years, he is the number one running back in the league for yards per carry. So how do you deny him that top dollar? But it's just really tough right now because my mindset is set on 2027. So maybe you take that route that Sammy's talking and say, hey, give him a little bit now, pay him a lot more with that guarantee in that second year so we can afford it. But it'd be really great to see him here. We all know that, Sullivan and Hafley, Achane was one of the 4 people that he called out in that first press conference and said, or meeting with Travis, of saying that there were those anchors that they were going to build around. And I have to believe that that's the case. I'm a huge Achane fan, just as much or more than I was when we drafted him. So I hope he sticks around. And my last thing on this is, gone are the days of a player just not showing up for the optional first day of it's not even mini. I don't even know what it is right now. It's just optional off-season workouts.
Voluntary
and they're
camp,
looking at it. Yeah, they're looking at it with this microscope of saying, "Oh my God, he didn't show up. He's sending a message." Maybe he was. Maybe his flight got delayed. Who knows? He showed up today. I'm happy he showed up today. Whether it's just as good faith or maybe it's I'm going to be a hell of a damn good teammate and I'm going to set the example for the people that we need. We have a leadership need here in this team. It'd be great to see him get that captain on his jersey this year and
100%. I'll say too, because I've seen it too. You brought up, giving running backs a second deal and all that, and I hear you. And it's because a lot of times that second deal, it's not the same type of player. I will say though, because I see somebody in the comments before, and I've had that somebody keeps saying, "Oh, running back." They always say, but someone and forgive me, I don't know if it was D-Dub or Robert. Forgive me if it was someone else. Just saying about maybe it was Robert. Achane could start at running back and receiver on most NFL teams. He's more than a running back. And that's why, again, you go, oh, no one's going to give up a first-round pick for a running back. That might be the case. But he's more than a running back. He is your offense. That's the truth, especially last year and the year before. And trust me, there are teams that would love to have a Devon Achane on their team, and they would drop, he would be a star. I mean, he is a star in Miami, but he'd probably be a superstar somewhere else.
Thank you. Sorry, Bobby, on that note, the things that we've talked about a lot on Fins TV, and I'll go to my grave saying this, you put on the aqua and orange, you are getting knocked down several tiers because for something about there, the media just doesn't give you that love.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Achane, you can't say they're one for one. He is just as talented in terms of production and what he has the capability of doing as a Deebo Samuel. Deebo's like the prima donna of the league. Everybody absolutely loves the guy. Achane is that good, but he's more aqua and orange, so he's not as
100%. And I just want to respond. Manzano in the house. Great to see Manzano in there. But actually, that's not true. You say Waddle was a part of that anchor list, but he traded him. No, he brought up 4 guys. Travis brought up Waddle. He brought up Achane, Brewer, Paul, and Jordan Brooks. Those 4 guys. That's who he brought up as the foundation that you build upon. And then Travis brought up Jalen Waddle. And he said Jalen Waddle's a good player. Yeah, he could be one of those guys. But again, loved Waddle. Very good player. When he was before Tyreek Hill, and then right at the beginning with Tyreek Hill, I was like 1A, 1B, easy. But last season, the year before, there was a lot of left on the field. Getting off the field, on the field, big drop passes here and there. It wasn't the same guy. To me, it's Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle at that point. So, but what they got for Jalen Waddle, you can't not make that deal. That was that was an unbelievable deal to get for Jalen Waddle,
and to get that off your books.
Yeah, 100%. So
and that's been cooking for a while because Malik Willis already knew that I'd be training Waddle. So they already knew there was already building to that we're talking about teams about training Waddle. Yep. So it wasn't coming out of the blue because already Malik Willis knew that was in the works.
Yeah, and again, this is a great draft. Like there are some very good running backs in this draft, even though it's not a great, but you obviously think Jeremiah Love and all that. But again, Jadarian Price, Mike Washington, there are some guys there, but not to the talent that wide receiver is. I mean, you could afford, you already got, you're gone Tyreek, but there's a lot of talent at wide receiver where you go, okay, let's move Jalen Waddle for what we could get. They got a great haul for him. And then we could get 1 or 2 receivers or 3 in this draft, and we'll feel pretty damn freaking good about it. So, yeah. So I was happy with that, with what he had brought up about Devon Achane, and obviously Steve, you as well, and Sammy. This is always a fun thing we do with our pick, right? 11 and 30, whatever. Oh, let's explore trade downs. No trading up, but that is a conversation we've been seeing through the tea leaves. Possibly trade, the Dolphins having conversations with the Commanders or whatever. Maybe that's Commanders spicing things up to try to get teams to move, but that's been talked about. They asked Eric Sullivan about possibly trading up. How active do you expect to be talking to other GMs around the league to move up or to move down? He answered, no different than when you guys asked me about trading players. I'm always going to pick up the phone. I think it's probably fair to say more than likely we're going to move back than move up. I mean, I think we need all 11 picks, but you never say never. I'm always, whether you're talking about going up or down, going to pick up the phone and listen to what's being said on the other side of it. I don't love playing on the phone the week of the draft. Like, if it's a real conversation, let's talk. But a lot of people over the next 10 days just like to call and have conversations that really have no substance. Hey, you want to go up or you want to go down? Sure, let's talk on draft day. When he was asked, is there no player? You said more likely is to trade down. This was Omar Kelly, Sammy. I know you'd like that. You said more than likely to trade down. So are you saying that there isn't a prospect in this draft that you would potentially be enticed to move up for? Very strongly, one of those blunt. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I think we need all 11 picks. I'm saying that you don't know how this is going to unfold. None of us have a crystal ball. It's more likely that we move back and pick up picks than give up picks to go forward. Now, if you walk in day 2 and all of a sudden there's some players that you covet at the top of round 2 or day 2, hey, maybe it makes sense to burn a pick and move up. It's something unlikely to happen in a player that you didn't expect to be there. those conversations we will have. I'm not saying that I won't do anything. Everything is on the table. I just think that when you look at our roster and what we need, it's more likely we're going to go back and pick up more picks. When we're in this thing to draft good football players, that's what wins games. Good football players. It's great to have a lot of picks, but I'm not going to fall into the trap of trying to be smarter than the process and pass on good players to acquire picks. We've got to get good football players into the equation. If the board is sitting right and becomes a numbers game, somebody offers something, you look up, you trade up, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it goes on from there. But, Steve, you hear that. I mean, for me, I'm smiling from ear to ear. Go get good football players. Don't try to be smarter. Don't trade up for somebody that's you don't need to trade up for. But again, if you're sitting there and there's a very good wide receiver somehow slipped through round one, Denzel Boston, Mekhi Lemon, one of those two guys, maybe at 33, that might be a conversation. You go, hey, maybe we should try to move up for that guy. Or, hey, you know what? That's a big damn hole to trade down. Let's go and make that trade down. What do you think about his answers for about possibly trading up or trading down?
I think that it's the biggest message I keep on hearing from this organization is that they know what they need, and that's more. They need bodies. They need a draft, and they don't need just like a few picks. I think that it's real that they need as many picks as they can possibly get. What we don't know is how do they have the ranking? I think just like every usual draft, you have top 3, 4, 5, 6 players that are those top 3, 4, 5, 6 players. And then it just kind of gets a little bit murky up to like the 25th to the 30th picks it really depends on what each team values or covets the most or how they rank these different players. So if we're sitting there at 11 and we know that within the next 4 picks, we're happy with the top 4 players that are still left there, and we could take any one of them, give them or take them, and somebody comes along and says, hey, will you trade back 3 spots and we'll get you some extra capital this year? I think that they're going to make that move, and I'm fine with that. What we don't want to see is that one player that you just really, really are sold on that this team could use first year and, in a implementation this year of the offense or defense, whatever with the team, and they trade back and they lose that. And then we're sitting here just picking somebody, we got Deion Jordan coming through the door and like, great, So I know that draft, we actually traded up for him, which just don't. So
that draft, whole draft sucked, but still. I
think what I really get the most out of this is they're not going to be. It seems like they're going to be patient. They're going to let things come to them. They're not going to just sit back on their heels. I like that. If you're sitting there day 2, see if there's a way to move up at a budget to get somebody that you really think is going to be that good. Start doing things the way that you see the Chiefs do. Look what the Chiefs have done. Is this one of those teams that hey, they picked near the end of the first round, and all of a sudden early on, it feels like they're picking early in that second because they see somebody that they really valued. That's what I feel like teams like the Green Bay Packers have done in the past, and I really hope that Sullivan is going to bring that to this draft.
100%. Sam, any thoughts on Sully's answer?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I always go back to Jimmy Johnson because Jimmy Johnson, was basically the one who kind of invented the draft day table. Where they basically
the draft trade chart.
The draft trade chart, yes. Jimmy Johnson is a genius. He's a certified genius. He had a huge IQ. He a psychologist. Industrial psychologist. He knows how to work with people. He knows how to do stuff. I will go back to Jimmy Johnson because no one, I've never seen anyone, and I've been watching the draft for over 30 years. No one does what Jimmy Johnson does on Sundays, where he traded up, he traded down, he's had a couple of players slotted, he moved a couple of spots back, he got another pick, and then he moved up with the other pick, and he will find a way to balance. You move down, but you move up with the picks that you get. So it's not like you're gonna end up with 20 picks. You move a couple of spots back, and you move back, you move up again. So Sullivan is a rookie GM. It's his first draft. It's the first time in control. So I will tend for him to not overreach, to be secure what he does. That's why he's trying to control the noise and the voices. There are too many voices calling him and saying stuff. He's trying to put the noise outside. The thing that he cannot control, he's not going to talk about it right now. Because why are you going to talk about a trade when you don't know what's going to happen next week? So I think he's being smart. I don't expect him to do a lot of trades. If he gets an offer to move a couple back in the first round, maybe the second, one of those thirds, if he sees a player falling, he has 4 thirds. He can move up. Other than that, I don't expect a lot of movement. I expect movement maybe from 30 to 36, and maybe one of those 4s combined to 2 thirds and try to move up because at least 10, 15 spots, maybe 20. Other than that, I don't expect a lot of movement because it's not. When you see the mock drafts that you're gonna see with come on with Steve, you get so many offers. I see so many fans, keep trading, end up with 20 picks. Who's gonna coach 20 rookies? And maybe 15 of those drafted players. Half of those are not gonna make the team. So you had to pick your spots. You got to go by the board. The players you like and the ones who fit your system, and they do. So I expect them to be controlled. He's a rookie GM, so I don't spend a lot of movement. I'm hoping for smart movements, for smart decisions, for calculated decisions. And if he does that, we're going to have a great draft.
I do like one of the things. I mean, there's a lot of things I do like that I heard, and you brought up he has a lot of voices, right, from other scouts, talking to Coach Halfley.
And the calls.
The owner, the phone calls, trading, and he said, and I know, again, this is something that Evan texted me, and then Rob posted it a second ago, or a few minutes ago, he said, it's my decision.
Yes.
He's going to decide who the draft picks are. It's not going to be, hey, Halfley, you want this pick? You go ahead and make the pick. No. Hey, what do you think of this guy? Bam, 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 bam. Great. Thank you. Okay, yeah, we're going here. And in Halfley, you coach, I draft. Now we know whoever that pick is, that's a Sullivan pick. He's the ultimate decider. It's no more, Ross wanted that guy, or McDaniel wanted that guy, or Greer wanted it, whatever, or Flores. It's Sullivan. He's going to work with them. That they're partners in this, but I'm going to draft them. You coach them. That's your job, right? I love that. One of the other things that I love, Steve, that he keeps versatility. I love versatility. I know Eichenberg is a bad example of that, but I do love versatility on the line. But one of the other things is competition. Just because you started, or just because what draft pick you are, we signed you in free agency, doesn't guarantee that you might be the day one starter. You're going to have to compete. Savanea. I love Savanea. I believe in Savanea. Even though he had a bad year last year, you move him the right side, give him a shot. Should he be the starter? Absolutely not. He needs to compete to be the starter. He wants to be the starting right guard or left guard. You have to compete for that job. Same thing with Austin Jackson. He's shown years that he could be a viable starter at some games. A lot of times he's inconsistent. He can't stay healthy. Should he be the automatic starter for Miami at right tackle day one? Absolutely not. Maybe the day one guy in practice, the number one guy in practice, but he's going to compete for that job. He should. That's one thing that Eric Sullivan keeps talking about, competition. We want to add competition to the room. He said Malik Willis, and Willis even answered the same way. But he said Malik Willis will be the guy, the number one guy going with the number one unit in practice and in training camp. But he has to compete for that job. Competition. I love that. That's their mindset. You need to work. It's no more of, hey, you were the 5th overall pick. You're automatically the guy. We're not going to sign or draft anybody to because we don't want to hurt your feelings. And I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just speaking what it was. No more about protecting feelings or you're just automatically because we spent so much draft capital on you. No, you need to fight for that spot. You need to earn it. It's competition. I love that word. I love that. That's their mindset. Steve, how are you feeling about that?
For the third time here, we're going to invoke Jimmy Johnson because it brings to mind when he first came into Miami as the Dolphins coach. And who are the 3 players that he said were safe? Maybe it was only 2. Dan Marino, and the other one was the special teams ace that we ended up trading away to the Patriots. And his name is just, it's eluding me.
Larry
Izzo? Got him.
Larry Izzo.
Yeah, Larry Izzo. I think those are the only 2 players that he said were safe and secure in their spots because he knew that Larry Izzo would, kill somebody out there on the field and do it, professionally. Look, again, we have a very inexperienced roster. 40 plus people, under contract at the league minimum. We're in a situation where we need that competition, but that type of competition can breed and create, opportunities for people who just never got those opportunities. Look, I mean, I said Leonte Cruz's name earlier in the show here, which I haven't said it probably in a long time, and for good reason. I was always in that mindset that he just never really got the opportunity with the ones to get out there and really show what he was capable of. But when push came to shove, he just didn't have that little incremental bit of, talent to be able to be that starter in the league. And that happens a lot. I'm all about the competition. We're going to need it. We need, the versatility across the offensive line. Jonah S., I won't ever try to say his last name because I'll murder it. If it doesn't matter where he's going to, plug and play, they're going to have to play him. I just hope he succeeds, and I hope he does better. Not everybody comes out here in the league and does exactly where they're, projected to or where they're drafted to. Hopefully he does. But I'm all about the competition. Don't make anybody feel safe out there other than those 4 pillars. And, I really do feel like the Dolphins could surprise some people this year, but I digress and I go back to my no expectations.
I love it. I always want to say shout out to everybody watching right now. Appreciate everybody in the comments. Daniel Taylor, I see you in there. Eddie, Daniel, you're absolutely right. It's draft is right here. Steel City, Soundwave. I see you on Twitch. You say Duval. Oh, we got a Jags fan in here. All right. Duval. Hey, you know what though? He answered up to it. We'll give him that, right? But D-Dub, great points all around. Everybody loves the competition aspect of it. Again, draft, yes, is right around the corner. And to get great draft content and live coverage as you're watching on ESPN, you want to hear what your fellow Dolphin fans are thinking and you want your voice heard. Make sure, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to FTSN Fitz Talk Sports Network. We'll be live for all 3 days, all throughout the entire draft, discussing all the picks, but also reacting to the Dolphins picks, predicting what's going to happen, watching as the board falls into place. Josh Wingate, Coach Vogel, myself, been working on this all year. Excited to finally get to this point. You'll see Finn Stanza, Finn Sammy, you'll have Dahl, you'll have Alex, you'll have Russ Morgan, Josh, you'll have Dolphins Thirsty, Steve Malloy, you'll have everyone. A lot of people on through all 3 days. Miss Finns will have everybody on, to get their reaction, but also get their insight, because there's a lot more smarter people than I am at this. So I'm excited to have everybody on there. So if you're new, and even your voices, we're going to drop the link. You're going to jump in. D-Dub, we're going to love to hear from you. We're going to have Rainy Day Pod on here. So, first, of course, Manzano. We'll have a lot of people on. We'll drop the link so people can get their reaction to Miami's picks as we go. Again, watching right now, Finn's Talk today on FTSN, powered by FTSN and Finn's TV, sponsored by Caneswear. We got a Finn's TV invasion. Steve is here, co-host of Finn's TV with Sammy. You got Eddie in the comments.
Bobby,
totally outnumbered.
If I may say something about the competition, part of Fins TV, Adrian too, part of the Fins TV group. If I say something about the competition, Bobby, D-Dub said something that's right. They have no loyalty. For once, they don't have any loyalty for anyone who's here. But also, don't you think that Sullivan and Hafley know what happened here last year with the Jalen Ramseys and the Tyreek Hills and all the players who felt entitled to be here because they were the shits, and Ramsey trying to have big fights with the coach, and Tyreek Hill doing whatever. If you have competition, basically you have to keep your weight. You had to be there. You had to do your stuff. Every single day you're competing for your job. If you feel you're entitled like Jalen Ramsey, you don't give up. What? So competition is the key here. Even Tua, by the end of the day, he felt so secure that he was amazed that he was benched for the last 2 games, and that ruptured the relationship with Mike Daniel. Everybody was entitled to it. Everybody was so entitled. They were not competing. They were in automatic pilot. So competition is going to be key. You're building this in from the ground. So whoever earns the spot is going to earn a spot here. It's not going to come from the outside, basically, to come to Miami with a $50 million contract. Now you have to play me here because you already gave me the money. He's going to earn it here. And if he earns it here and get the $50 million contract, good. He earned it. That's his spot. That's completely different than what happened the years before.
100%. 100%. All right. He already has his hat on. I'm going to say put your GM hat on, Steve. It is time. It's your mock draft. Time Armchair GM. We may drop off, but it's only brief for a second because I'm going to bring everybody back. I don't know why it does that. Fixed it before, but maybe because of the storm now, it's definitely going to do it. So bear with me just a second as I get it all back. Be very quick. Oh, actually, here we all are. And it just did that. So perfect.
Hey, all right. So just a disclaimer here, everybody. I am not a good GM when it comes to this stuff. So I do not eat, breathe, sleep, drink, draft prep. So I expect some hate from this, but that's okay. That's why I'm here.
Well, and I'll tell you, you know, how I do it is you're not alone, right? You know, I'm going to, you know, we'll get to the pick, you know, you'll ask, we'll see who's on the board. You could explore a trade, but I'll talk about players, especially as we get deeper in, like, hey, there's this guy. I like this guy, you know, where do you think, which position? Okay, let's look at the board. Who's there? So you're not alone, my man. So don't, you know, I got you, brother. I got you. All right. So we'll get this started.
By the way, shout out to the almost 400, almost 600 watching all platforms. So, you know, like, subscribe to Fins TV, to Fins, the Fins Sports Network. You know, need to subscribe here on YouTube. You know, go to YouTube and subscribe because you need to subscribe for that week. So appreciate you all. Go ahead, Steve.
So we're going to go ahead. And what I love about this is how it changes up, right? In this situation, because we're like, man, I really want this guy to be on the board at this point. But then he gets picked. And now you got to make a decision like, I got to go here. So, Steve, before we hit go, we're going to get to 11. But on your mind right now, whether it's just one guy or if there's top three, I'll take top three guys. But if there's one guy for sure, you just go one guy. Who are the top three guys that you hope is sitting there at 11? Even if you explore a trade down, you're like, man, I hope these three guys are here.
Is it realistic? Because I have guys that I would literally like run through a glass door for. But I mean, that'd be the Sonny Styles, Adrian. This one's for you, the Ruben Bain. Absolutely would just run through, you know, walls for those guys because I think that they are that big of difference makers for this, for what we have here. But realistically, I'm going to say Delane, who I think is there, or Tate. Those are two players that I think are cornerstones, even though the wide receiver, I think, is a luxury right now for the Dolphins of what they're going to go.
Love it. There you go. There are some names. And D-Dub, I love that comment, my man. You're awesome, brother. No, he says, no hate. Question, comment, but never hate. I agree with that. Everyone has a right to their opinion, right? And everyone, no, there's no gatekeeping here. Right, everybody has a right to opinion, whether you feel you like the coach, you don't like the coach, you like the player, you don't like the player. Doesn't matter. We're all Dolphin fans. All right, none of that gatekeeping crap. So straight up for
D-Dub. Adrian, see, man, that doesn't bug me, man. I love you, man. I love you, Adrian. I'll take that and I'll smile. When I call you a Gator fan, man, you just get angry. You get rage angry. It's okay, man.
That is awesome. All right, let's go ahead and let's see who's on the board here.
They're trading places now. They're trading places.
Wow, number 2 overall.
Look at that. Let's just go. Mauanoa comes off 2 to the Browns traded up and got Mauanoa. And here you go. Sonny Styles, Ruben Bain off. Mekhi Lemon went to the Saints. Talk about crazy. So look at the board, though. Fanu, Delane, Love. Steve, they're not making it easy for it. Would you run to the board for any of these guys, or were you going to look at a trade?
It depends on how far back we're going to trade. I'll say that because I'm not a fan of Sadiq. Look, say what you want. Tight end is luxury level 5 for the Dolphins, right? We do not need any of that. We need food to survive. So I don't need the fancy car. I need food. Looking at the board here, I mean, if it's more than 3 spots back, I'm really not that interested. I'm very tempted by 2 of the players that are on the board right now, just being straight.
Who's catching your eye, man? I know Delane is. You brought up Delane.
Delane is, but I've also got to be real that I've got to stick to how I opened today's episode with you guys, that I think it's really got to start in the trenches, and that's with Fanu. I mean, okay. You know, that's just so I'm making the pick, unless we wanted to explore to see what's out there. But
you can make the pick, or we can look at the trade. You're in charge.
Nope. All right, I'm making the pick. I'm going with Spencer Fanu.
There you go.
Offensive lineman, Utah.
Love it. I love it. Passed on Love. You passed on Delane, but you're stuck to your gut, and you're stuck to and you're like, I'm going the trenches. I'm going Spencer Fanu. Totally cool with that. Here you go, 30. And who's on the board here, right? You good. You couldn't get an edge rusher, but you got Akeem Massador there from Miami. TJ Parker out of Clemson. You got a safety in McNeil Warren, who I love. McNeil Warren's great size, 6'3", 200. Love him. That's in the secondary. Where there's Caleb Banks out of Florida sitting there too. Where's your mind here at 30? Do you want to look at receiver at this point? Do you want to go with best player available? Where's your mind at?
Okay, my mind is that if I had just really nothing to do with my life, I would love to sit and watch tape and watch nothing but college football all weekend long with like a bunch of TVs, but I've just got too much stuff in my life. I was telling Sammy the other day, I'm like, dude, I cannot get a grip on anything. Days are flying by. It's my excuse for just not being able to be into this stuff right now at this level, because I see like Emmanuel McNeil Warren pop up a couple weeks ago, and all of a sudden is like, who is this guy? I don't know. And it's you have that. Oh, here we go. Who is this guy? 6'3". I love the size. Okay, all right.
You can look at some of
I
his.
love the fact that he's a 3-star recruit and seems to have overperformed. I love that.
Yeah, and you go look in here. You just look at his career numbers here. You can look at what he done the year before. I like him a lot. There's three safeties here. Obviously Caleb Downs, Dylan Tyneman from Oregon, and then Emmanuel McNeil Warren. There's other ones later on, but McNeil Warren I love this guy, and I would be excited with him to be the pick, especially his size.
Okay, look, I'm just answer this if you want, Bobby, and I'm just going to be straight here. And I wish this is one of those things where I wish I had like a whole room of live people where I could say, show of hands, before 3 weeks ago, who had heard of McNeil Warren? I personally had never heard of him. So, that's rhetorical. Just throw it out there.
Sure.
Just for the sake of being chewed on, because I'd never heard of the guy, and that's fine. Again, I admit I didn't watch any Toledo football. I've never, sought out Toledo football to watch it. It's my fault.
No.
I'm a college football snob on Saturdays, and So in any case, here's my take on this. Games, not names. Okay, names pop up between February and draft day because of agent hype and what everybody puts up when they're in their underwear and all in their pro days and at the combine, and everybody. Games, not names. Who actually went out there and graded it and absolutely destroyed and played to that level that they deserved this draft pick when they were playing on Saturdays? That's how I've got to look at it.
I love that.
And again, I can't say that McNeil Warren wasn't that person. I can't say that he was, because I just don't know. But I do have my eyes on somebody here. Okay, I who the hell did I pick in the first pick? Oh,
Spencer
Fanu. Offensive lineman. Okay,
yeah.
So I mean, Max, I really like that pick, but picking 2 in the trenches in the first one, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I have my eyes on somebody here, but I also feel like I could, take a trade if we move back a little bit, and there's still some good value there for what I wouldn't mind taking.
Well, let's look at what's available in trade here. So we're pick 30 here. They got 3 trade offers, one from Chicago, giving you 57 and 60 in order to move up to 30. And then you got Minnesota offering you 49 and a future, which is probably more than likely a a second rounder next year. And so you're moving 19 spots, and then you got 54 and 68 from Philly to move up. So that Alex actually did that trade yesterday. He did a trade down like that where he moved down 10 spots and still had a really good draft. So it is interesting how the project works out. But any of these picks intrigue you?
No, because I'm not interested in moving that far back. Somebody's going to say, hey, move back a few because we want this,
yeah.
But no, just going to be straight here. I've got to stick to the trench type mindset, and some people might say that it's going to be a stretch here, but I'm going to go with Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. We need an edge.
Ooh, there you go. I like that. TJ Barker, Massador still on the board, going Cassius Howell, A&M off. There you go. I like it. Going edge rusher though. There you go. Nothing wrong there.
About one might be there with the next pick. Who knows? So we'll have to wait and see now.
So here you go. You're at 43. And again, you did go edge rusher, but Malachi Lawrence is there. You got Emmanuel Pregnon at guard, right? You did get Fanu, who could play at guard or tackle, but you think about competition, right? You could put Fanu competing with Jackson and Savanea, and Pregnon could try to compete for left guard or right guard. Just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing names. Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker. What happens with Jordan Brooks? He is one of those cornerstones, but there's been talks about possibly being traded to Dallas. Brooks is on the board. That's a good move. Jadarian Price. Talk about adding a running back to the running back room, possibly, or corner. Where are you on this in this pick?
Don't forget wide receiver.
Wide receiver, and there's another guard.
Yeah.
Basantis is there from A&M as well.
What do we got from wide receiver? Jeez,
Let's
we're kind of thin here.
So right here again, the jumps out to me. Right, you do have Bernard from Alabama, but Chris Brazzell from Tennessee. I mean, Chris Bell. I love Chris Bell, but Chris Brazzell loved it. But 6'4", 4.37 speed. He has the size. He has the speed. Zachariah Branch. I know people go, oh, size. You look at him 5'8", but they did sign Tutu Atwell. I will say again, I've said this before. No one's gonna be Tyreek Hill, but if you want a guy who's kind of similar to that, it's Branch. Breakaway speed, playmaker, all of the above. You got Surratt, Ted Hurst probably later on, actually sooner rather than later. But these two right here are the guys that I really like. Let me look at Chris Bell for you. He's really 6'2", 227, built like a linebacker, fast like a running back. Really loved his film from Louisville. But what do you think about this receiver?
I feel like there's still a little bit of room there. I mean, we could look to see what trades are available. Unclick this. I want to see all the prospects again here, please. Okay, because Malachi Lawrence. Okay, look, you can't. In my opinion, you can't have enough cornerbacks, which I know we're thin there. Can't have enough cornerbacks. You can't have enough edge players or offensive linemen. So that's really where it comes in. Malachi Lawrence sitting there is looking really, really attractive for me.
And he did meet with Miami yesterday. He was a part of the last group of top 30 visits. He met with Miami yesterday. So you want to look at the trades too?
Yeah, let's look at the trades real quick.
All right.
Okay. All right. What's the future one there for Atlanta?
Future 3rd round pick. It's not bad. Trade down. You go down 5 spots and get a 3rd round pick for next year.
5 spots. It's really not that bad. Let's go ahead and accept that trade.
There you go. And there you go. Makes it, Lawrence comes off to the Jets, but
it came at the expense of that. But hey, we're just playing here. This is all just for funsies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got ourselves some offensive linemen. I'm gonna say, what was the knock on Brazzell? What was there something on him? Injury history? Was that him?
No, that was Chris Bell, who got hurt last year. It was Bell, but now looking here, right? Again, Pregnon, Brazzell still on the board. You talk about edge rusher, Jacas is still there, but safety, AJ Halsey is there from LSU. You got Eli Stowers from tight end, who some teams are trying him out receiver, but Stowers is a playmaker. That dude is fun. But yeah.
All right.
Corners?
All right. So kind of torn here between somebody's just selling me. I don't know. Jacob Rodriguez was a tackling machine.
Yeah, right out of Texas Tech.
231. Dude, I love that picture, man.
Yeah,
like 1970s Zonka.
Look, here's his numbers right here, Steve. 122 total tackles, 10 tackles for loss, a sack. The year before that, 113 total tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. He's a fun pick. He's a fun option.
That's not too bad. You know what? Sorry, just give me one more shot here. Look at that trade.
Of course.
I can kiss my ass. I don't care what you're doing. Okay, all right, get out of here. No, we're not moving back that far.
You know what trade we're doing?
Exactly. All right, I'm gonna go. Let's give us some stronger offensive line talent. Let's go Pregnon.
Ooh, I like that.
Offensive guard.
All right. Get that girth on that offensive line.
Here comes the t-shirt.
There's the t-shirt. You know what though? Honestly, damn. You think about what just came on the board here: Surratt, Fields, Ted Hurst, even at corner. You got Ramsey at safety, Davison out of Ohio State. That board's falling pretty nice for you there, Steve.
Yes. Okay.
A lot of wide receivers.
Wide receivers here.
Well, there's some great option at wide receiver.
And with that fourth, you pick up a fourth, right? You can move up one of those late thirds. You can move a little bit up. So if you want to double down on corner and wide receiver, or double down on wide receiver, you can probably move out now when you have firepower to move back up.
75, 80. No, you can get it for. You got one for next year, third rounder next year.
Okay,
Yeah.
next year.
So, but
Yeah,
75, 80.
You have four threes. You can move.
Yeah,
back and
100%.
two of those and move up.
This is true. Yeah, I'm really liking the Surratt sitting there right there. We do need to get somebody in the offensive room. What was his time on? Let's see what we got. 210.
You saw what he did in the playoffs. You saw what he's done for Fernando Mendoza as a weapon. Very good at the field.
That's what we're getting. We're getting Elijah Surratt.
There you go. Then a wide receiver there.
The Packer mold, that kind of Packer wide receiver.
Oh, I know where I'm going. Okay, so we've got picks. Okay, all right. Okay.
A couple Florida guys on the board there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. I don't know. What do you guys think here? What do we got for Wheatley? Because
secondary. I will go. I will start looking for secondary because you need bodies at the secondary for sure.
I'll say okay. Devin Moore is there, right? And if you look at the, you got Zackery Ridley from Penn State. You open the cornerback room. You got Everett. You got Will Lee, Julian Neal, Sicario Davis. So there are some options there. I like Logan Jones. You keep building that line, but I get it. We got two guys right now. Bryce Lance, you think about receiver. Lance, he has that Christian Watson Packers mold. I think he's one of those guys you could get in the third, second round, and he could be a number one guy possibly. I love that option. But you could keep building the line, go secondary. You got another pick right after this. You could go secondary here and see who's still on the board right in a few picks.
I know where I'm going with my next two picks. So we're going to go Wheatley right now. All right, not even hesitating. This one's for you, Adrian. Devin Moore, cornerback, Florida. Teaming him up with Jason Marshall Jr.
There you go.
Now get Jay Slaughter and run the board.
Oh my God, that'd be fantastic.
Austin Barber there now. Look there.
You know what? Jake Slaughter, in my biased opinion, is one of the best offensive line prospects out there, especially at the center position. Really can't hurt to have that. But what's that?
Can he play guard? That's the question because with Savane over there,
really,
you never know.
I think that they can be a little bit interchangeable, but I don't think Jake Slaughter's really ever played anywhere other than center here in
6'5". He has the body for it.
This is the thing I like about a center, right? That's why I like Logan Jones, and you bring up Jake Slaughter. I'm not sleeping on the center out because even though Brewer is one of those foundational guys, he did restructure his deal, but he's not extended yet. We don't know if he's going to be able to work that deal. If he does, great, but you still want to add, you think about depth. You think about that's one thing people go, oh, we don't need that. We have this player already. The Packers were never about, oh, we already have plenty of corners or plenty of tackles or whatever. It was all about, hey, that guy has a contract coming up in a year or 2 years. Let's get a guy now, i.e. the quarterback position with Rodgers and Favre and whatever. They've done it. It's the same thing with their business. So they may go Slaughter or Jones and say, hey, if we can't bring him back Brewer, we have our center of the future. We're good. That's the type of mindset I could see them doing here.
A lot of girth.
Yeah, you bring in that girth. You need that girth on that line, brother.
A lot of girth. All right, so
Steve's like, I don't know what you guys talking. I'll just go with it.
I get it. No, we're good, man. Okay. Really, I could flip a coin here in terms of where we're going. There's a lot of offensive line sitting here right now. Jake Slaughter.
Show. You have a way to show the picks for the people.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah,
absolutely. So here's what Steve has done so far. With the first pick, he went Spencer Fanu at 11. 30 went edge rusher with Cassius Howell from Texas A&M. Traded 43 down to 48 and got a third rounder for next year and drafted Pregnon at 48 at guard. So it's gone 2 offensive linemen. gone edge rusher. Finally got a receiver 75, Elijah Surratt out of Indiana at 75, 87. Got Zyke Whitley at safety and drafted corner Devin Moore at 90 out of Florida. So right now he is at 94. Let's see what.
Well, if I may, we have almost 2,000 people watching on our platform. So welcome everybody. You're watching Fist Talk today on the FTSN.
I'm sorry to those 2,000 people that they're like tuning into this masterpiece of draft.
Absolutely. Go to the chat and
how about the entertainment value?
How great he's doing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, we appreciate it. We really appreciate it. I mean, really, I could flip a coin here. You know what? This is all just for shits and giggles. So I'm going to hit the trade button. I just want to see if anybody's offering much to just trade back a little bit. 101. Where are we sitting right now? What pick is this?
We're at 94. So you're trading on a few spots where you're getting pick 142. The next pick, you got 130, then you got 151. So that would be between, you would have 3 picks like one after the other if you move down a couple spots.
You know what?
Here.
Go ahead and do that trade. Give
I like
Tennessee that pick.
It's different. And I'm just going to say, first off, yes, shout out. We got 2,000 people watching live right now. Appreciate everybody watching wherever you're watching from, whether that's on FTSN, Twitter, YouTube, if you're watching on Fins TV, wherever you're watching, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to Fins Talk today on FTSN, sponsored by Caneswear. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, do us a favor, hop on over to YouTube, FTSN, hit that subscribe button. And when you're done after the show, don't leave the show. But after you're done, go to Fins TV and subscribe there. If you haven't yet, you're doing a disservice because you want great content, great debates, great panel, great graphics, and everything else. You want to check out Fins TV during the season. Awesome stuff by Sammy and the crew. But and I would say too in the comments, though, appreciate everybody, whether you love it or hate or whatever. We appreciate you. We welcome you. Appreciate you popping in here. D-Dub says if you want to double tap on wide receiver, Deion Burks is good at this pick. So you're going to make this trade, right? Or we did make the trade. I'm sorry. We did.
Yep, we made the trade.
Now looking at the board here, you got Julian Neal corner. You got Markel Bell at tackle. Oscar Delpa tight end. Will Lee. Jalen Farmer. So there are some Trey Zune, who D-Dub was just talking about, a guy who could play all 3 positions, center and guard. We were talking about possibly Slaughter. So you got some options here, Steve. I mean, you're working this draft. I like it.
Yep, I'm had my eyes. There were 3 players. We had 2 Gators and 1 Kentucky Wildcat before I made that trade, and Jalen Farmer fell. So I'm not going to take any more chances. I'm going to be picking Jalen Farmer here.
Love it.
University of Kentucky. So this is where you need to come in and sub me in for Jason Sarney, because he'd be like, "Oh my God, this is my favorite part of the draft." I've been dreaming about this stuff for days.
Jason, if you don't tag in.
It's like, Sarney, are you there? So okay, you look now again. We could go to different positions here, but looking at what has been picked so far: tackle and Fanu, Howe, edge rusher, Pregnon at guard, Surratt at receiver, Whitley at safety, Moore at corner, Farmer at guard. So, I mean, building the trenches, love it. 130, 42, 51. I love that you made that trade that's there, because if you look at on the board right here, this is great, right? You look at Eli Raiden, we need a tight end. There's one right here. Love the size, love the potential. It says 6'6", really 6'7". Sorry, I had to do that. There's a career numbers, not sexy numbers, but there's potential there. And Miami has met with him. I like him. Xavion Harris. This is D tackle. This is, again, continuing to build on that line possibly. 6'8", 330. That dude is monster. Now, it's not always good to be that big. I love it. I love size, and it is his offensive idea. But sometimes not good because you got to get under the pads. You got to make a play. But love this kid. And of course, you're looking at quarterback. You got a lot of Penn State guys there.
It's too early.
Let's look.
My quarterback.
I
know one a quarterback anyway.
All right. So yeah, Robert saying Raritan is a tight end is still good value. D-Dub says look at tight end. Let's go ahead and pull up the tight end room right now. Raritan there, of course. You got Nate Berganker from Texas A&M, Jack Endries. Bentley's a guy I like, a guy that Miami has met with. That might be an option. Let's see here. Let's go. Not safety. I'm sorry. Corner. Masses. Ball hawk. Ball playmaker. like him, that might be an option for you. But yeah, what are you thinking here?
I'm gonna go with Raritan there. I'm gonna go get a tight end, somebody who's a little bit versatile, got some good size on him. I like that.
There you go.
Yeah. Tyreek Sapp, just saw him go off. Interesting. All right. Okay. So here we are. I'm in that little spot where I'm just really where's our next pick? So we got 142 and 151. Okay, I'm leaving this draft with one of two quarterbacks, and I need to actually stick to my gut here because I know where I really wanted to go, and I think it's just too early.
Carson back.
Okay, all right. So where do we sit right now for picks coming up? What's our board looking like? Command center. All right. So
got 4 more picks here.
Dang, that's going to be a little bit too far back. All right. I know I'm going at 151. It'll be a steep stretch, but it's all right. Okay. All right. We're not going to grab a quarterback just yet, but give us a couple picks and we'll be right there.
So
right. What do we need to get here?
Comments are saying linebacker here. D-Dub says check them. You got Oregon linebacker right there. That's a fan favorite as well. Bochier on there. I butcher last name, so forgive me. Elam's Orr. You got Harold Perkins.
Maybe that's the last name, Butcher.
Huh?
Maybe that's the last name, Butcher.
Maybe it is. Maybe I'm saying it right. I don't know. Yeah, but I just know I butcher them. So, but you got a lot. And then Terry and York as well. A little small, obviously. Butcher 6'1", 433, 233.
Special teams linebacker. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense in that kind of spot.
Heineke's going back to school, so that don't mean nothing. Aiden Fisher. I know Manzano's guy, Caden Daniels. It says 315, but he's a guy I think could go in this range as well.
Kalen Elam's Orr is a dog.
That's a linebacker. Brought him up there. Let's pull him up for a second. 6'2", 234, 4.7 speed. 4.47 speed. Inside linebacker for TCU.
Let's see the stats. Let me see.
There you go. Here's last season.
All 130
right, there we
total
go. Tackles.
Hey, say no more.
There you go.
Slap that button. Hit it like it's a like button. Subscribe.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Hit the quarterback. Let's see. Okay. I would be extremely hypocritical if I did not follow my own advice here and say build the trenches and get a quarterback every single year. So
all right.
We are drafting with pick 151, Talon Green, quarterback.
There you go. Going in, man with a plan. A man with a plan.
He got his man.
CJ Daniels coming off the board there. See you. Pat Coogan. Pat S. Cooper, son of the beach.
Man, long way down. Here we go. Man, we are down in the dry.
Jacoby Thomas is still there. That's a sleep. All right, so the last 2 picks. Now with these picks, what are you looking for? You're looking for, obviously all these are special teams.
Defensive tackle or linebacker really is where we want to go. Want to look at some value that we could possibly get in that run stopper, the beefy area. Not too sure where we are here. I mean, there's really not much.
Yeah, Cameron Ball sitting there out of Arkansas. He's still there. Linebacker, we just went. Heineke's not on the board. I mean, Heineke's there on the board, but he's going back to school. I saw today. So, let's look at Wesley Williams. This is what he's done. He had last year 2 sacks, 43 total tackles for loss, 7 sacks the year before. So it's not too thick in regards of girth, but 6'4", good size. This probably a guy you could probably move around the defensive line instead of just be in interior.
Uncheck that for me.
Options. Say what?
Let's go to. I want to see what's available at the whole board.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay.
All right, there we go. All right, hit George Gums for me, please, real quick. He's one of those guys that he's flashed a lot. Yeah. All right. Okay, what do you think about that Miami safety?
Love it. Love it. One of these guys again, who was like captain of the defense. Loved what he did. I mean, again, you could say I'm biased, but trying to look on the outside in. Seventh round. It's not being too biased. It's a guy I think could contribute on special teams, but also a guy who could get also from Middle Tennessee too. So which I'm currently at. So, but you look at what he did last year: 5 interceptions, 75 total tackles, 6 pass deflections. I think he's gonna go higher than this. I highly doubt he'll be in the 7th round. But I think this would be a great option for us for Miami to add another safety to the room.
All right, send it in.
Adrian says, "Stop it, Steve. You know he's good." We'll go ahead and get Jacoby here. D-Dub, to answer your question, yes. Riley Nowakowski is that H-back type of role. Him and Max Bredesen out of Michigan, 2 guys that, you think about a guy who could be a possible fullback because Miami let go of Ingold, but also kind of like, I'd say like Charles Clay, who's a tight end, but moved in from fullback and tight end. That's a tight end. And Miami could go that route. They could go fullback because they didn't, especially late option because they let go of Ingold. So that's a possible option. Bradison is there, and at tight end, Nowakowski is there as well for H-back. So good point. Good question there.
What do we got for the H-backs there?
So you got Max Bradison out of Michigan, and you 6'2", 252, tight end fullback hybrid. I like him a lot. And then, of course, Nowakowski out of Indiana, played with Mendoza. You got his friend Surratt there at wide receiver. He's another H-back tight end hybrid. Let me look at his numbers for you. That way you got him. Career numbers, 50 total receptions, 487 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, really, I could flip a coin here. I could just throw a blind dart here. I mean, it's hit the all. I'm just going to, let's see.
Through the dartboard to the ceiling fan. Really let's see what it lands. So,
What'd you say?
Throw the dartboard to the ceiling fan, and whatever it falls, it falls. You can go no wrong. It's the 7th round.
Owen Heineke, University of Oklahoma, inside linebacker. There you go. Sure.
He's actually not in the draft. He came out.
Heineke is?
Yeah, he's going back to the
there
school.
You go.
Yeah.
All right, forget about it. Okay, good man. Pick the education. Then go to the H-back or the fullback. Grab the big beef. There you go. Perfect. Michigan.
Bradison?
University of Michigan. Yep.
There you go. There you go.
Lead up. Right. Lead up.
So there you go. There's the wrap. Let's look at that very quick. Again, you see the draft grade there, but again, that's based off their board. Don't be bothered by that at all.
I'm not going to take it personally.
Let me go back. Sorry. So let's see. Let's wrap this up here. Steve, as the Armchair GM this week, I mean, really focusing on the trenches early on. Spencer Fanu out of Utah, Cassius Hallett edge, Pregnon at 48 after a trade down, going receiver Elijah Surratt out of Indiana, safety Zyke Whitley, 87, Devin Moore, corner out of Florida, Jalen Farmer out of Kentucky to 101, Eli Raridan at 130, linebacker Caleb Alums-Art out of TCU, Taylon Green at 151, Jacoby Thomas at safety out of Miami, and then wrapping it up with H-back Max Bradison out of Michigan. There is Steve's. There you go.
How many picks was that, Bobby? How many picks?
12.
12 picks. Yeah.
That's good. 12 picks is more than good. 15 is too much. 12 is good.
Yeah. And then we get some UDFAs out there, see how well they can sell.
That's right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
In Miami. No, I'm all about that.
The chance to
draft and
be great.
In there.
D-Dub, you did a good job, Steve. You got a good.
Thank you.
You did great.
Yeah. So yes, he did a good job. Robert Howe's a bit of a reach. That's okay. Spencer's brother, Fanu. Yeah, his brother's in the draft later in the round too as edge rusher. So there you go. But I thought it was fun. I love that. I love when people have a different perspective or go a different way because I want to see how the board falls. That's what I love. So very cool. What's next on FTSN? Well, tomorrow for me, I'm not going to be on FTSN. I am going to be on the Rainy Day podcast with Adrian, talking Miami sports, talking the draft. And then on Saturday, we'll be back with Adrian again for
tomorrow.
WrestleMania.
Tomorrow probably is South Florida Sports Unfiltered with.
Yes, that's what it is. Yes,
right?
Thank you. I couldn't get the name, but I know it's Rainy Day Pod. But yeah, it's Unfiltered. I'll be on there with Adrian, and then we'll be on again with Adrian and Josh Kimmel, and on the 2 Raw for SmackDown WrestleMania preview. So I'm excited for that. Sunday, huh?
I'm gonna be there too.
Oh, well, oh, look at that. Oh, okay, there you go.
Hey.
Oh, hey. No thanks. And then Sunday we got the Finstock Draft Show. We'll be building the board on Sunday, so make sure you join us for that on FTSN with Josh Wingate and Coach Vogel. And of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We will be live all 3 days of the draft, throughout the draft, talking, of course, what's going on, any trade. Oh my gosh, every pick, but also, of course, getting ready for Miami's pick. Miami's going to be a busy team. 11 picks, guys. So it's must-see TV. So but as you're watching it and you want to hear what your fellow fans are saying, maybe listen in on FTSN, and then maybe you join in once after the pick. Maybe you go, hey, I hate it. I love it. Let's ride. So, gentlemen, you guys are the men of Fins TV. What's going on Fins TV?
Well, we're going to be back April 28th for our first draft show. Steve's going to be there. Aiden's going to be there. And the whole Fins TV crew is going to be there. We're going to wrap it up after the draft. Hopefully, we're going to, have a good draft, and you're going to talk about it. So, Fins TV on YouTube, on X, everywhere, April 28th.
There you go. Again, guys, we are sponsored by Caneswear. If whether you're a Miami Hurricanes fan, like Adrian and myself, Florida fans, sorry, there's no Florida gear there. But you got Dolphins, you got Heat, you got Marlins, you got Canes, anything South Florida sports, go check out Caneswear at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. But if you're anywhere other than South Florida, if you're in Canada, Puerto Rico, Tennessee, Delaware, Texas, anywhere else, go to caneswear.com. They ship everywhere. They're awesome. The team is awesome there. Go check out Caneswear or go to caneswear.com. And again, as the gentlemen have brought up, you're on FTSN right now. If you're anywhere other, we almost got 2,500 people watching. We appreciate you all tuning in. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, join us over on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button here on Finstock Sports Network. We don't just talk Dolphins. We talk Heat. We talk Mars. We talk sport, NFL, NBA, MLB, college sports. We talk wrestling. We talk it all here in FTSN. So if whatever's your flavor, hit that subscription button and join us, whether you love or hate what we're talking about. We want to hear from you. And then when you're done, hop on over to Fins TV. If you're a Dolphins fan and you haven't subscribed to Fins TV, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go check out Fins TV. 100%. Love the guys there, obviously, but also love what they do. Got a passion for what they're doing. Dolphin fans, before we wrap this up, Steve, any final thoughts?
No, I appreciate everybody taking the time to join. Like everybody said many times, like, subscribe, pass it on. Word of mouth is the strongest way to do it out there. Pass the good word of what we have going on here at Fins Talk and Fins TV always. I appreciate you having me on. This is a lot of fun. It's good being on here. And Bobby, maybe sometime we can do it again when I'm not under the pressure of 2,000 people watching me make a fool out of myself picking randos.
You did great, brother. You did great.
2,454 to be exact.
There you go. All right.
Sammy, final thoughts, sir?
Thank you.
Of course.
It's a new era in Miami. Everybody is hoping for a good draft. We're gonna talk about the draft probably next Tuesday, right? We're gonna probably have a special show on Tuesday. But this fan base doesn't have a lot of hope right now. But at least for the draft, we can hope. We can hope the Dolphins do well. It's a new era. We can see a lot of difference with the way that they're conducting things. So let's cross our fingers and hope for the best, because at least we deserve it, right?
100%. We will be live next Tuesday, because Thursday, obviously, we're going to be booked with the draft. But Tuesday, we'll be live for Fins Talk Today, powered by FTSN and Fins TV. And it's probably going to be a more Kane-centric episode, talking about Ruben Bain and Jacoby Thomas and so far. A lot of those guys are going to be there, plus getting ready for the draft. So make sure you like and subscribe and tune in for that. Dolphin fans, we appreciate you. As I've said, like and subscribe. But most importantly, as always, no matter what, fins up. Appreciate you.